Let's get into some things of the things, child. We got some stuff to talk about today, honey. We got some stuff to talk about. Hit that like button. If you are new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We have a great time over here. You meant what you said when you said it. Really be that, because I don't be understanding y'all sometimes. And when y'all know when I say y'all, you know I ain't talking about y'all. You know I'm talking about y'all. Basically, that all these people that got something to say have been actively involved in the political process in their world. I don't believe it. You ain't gonna convince me. I know y'all love me. What's up, y'all? How you guys doing? So, first of all, technically it ain't new charges, but it's new charges. I'm gonna read you guys both, and I'm gonna let you make your determination however you want to make your determination. There's no we know that Diddy's trial is coming soon. We know that his trial is coming soon, and these are the types of things that start happening when the trial is coming. You know what I mean? They clarify, they fix it up, they adjust it, they change it. And when I say soon, I believe in May. So that's soon. I mean, you know, I'm sure for him it's not soon enough, but I mean, it's soon. So let's read through it, you guys. What's up, everybody? Coming in. Real quick, y'all let me I'll make the announcement at the end. Remind me. Don't let me get off of here. Chuck, Cheryl, definitely remind me because it's about what me and you were talking about earlier today. Don't let me get off of here without making the announcement I need to make, y'all. But we're going to read through this first because I know some people came in to hear what about these new charges for Diddy, child, which technically ain't really new charges, but they new charges. But we're going to talk about it. So let me make it bigger. Let me share the screen. You know what, Cheryl, I said that last week about thank you, Melly. I said that last week when I was saying that honestly, I wasn't necessarily convinced that Diddy would that this would actually go through the whole rigmarole, if I'm being really honest about it. But it is what it is, y'all. It is what it is. Let's read through this. Let's read through it. And then I'm gonna read you the letter that was sent to sort of clarify this. So as you guys can see here, this was filed on today, February, March the 6th. And you see that they have all of his aliases and the grand jury. So this is count 1, racketeering conspiracy. Now, y'all know I'm about to sit here and read this whole thing from beginning to end. It's 15 pages, but some of this stuff is information we just know. For decades, Sean Combs abused, threatened, and coerced women and others around him to fulfill his desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. To do so, Combs relied on the employees, resources, and influence of the multifaceted business empire that he led and controlled, creating a criminal enterprise whose members and associates engaged and attempted to engage in, among other crimes, trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction. They talk about his businesses were in New York, that they were global enterprises. The defendant engaged in a persistent and pervasive, pattern of abuse towards women and other individuals. This abuse was at times verbal, emotional, physical, and sexual. As part of this pattern of abuse, Combs manipulated women to participate in orchestrated performances of actual activity with Combs and at times with male commercial sex workers. At times, and others citing at his direction, made arrangements for women and commercial workers to fly to his location, where he ensured participation from the women by, among other things, obtaining and distributing narcotics, controlling their careers, leveraging his financial support, and threatening to cut off the same, and using intimidation and violence. On numerous occasions, from at least on or about 2009, continuing for years, he assaulted women by, among other things, striking, punching, dragging, throwing objects, and kicking. Violence was not limited to these women. Oh, it extended to his employees, witnesses to his abuse, and others. On one occasion, okay, child, we ain't about to sit here and read about that hotel room. We got it. Those employees, including staff, household staff, security staff, personal assistants, and high-ranking supervisors, and other close associates, acted as Combs' intermediaries, and their conduct was facilitated and assisted by Combs' control of the Combs business. Then they go through the Combs enterprise. Child, we know. We got it, okay? It included his leadership members and associates, constituted an enterprise as defined by Title 18. So they're going through what an enterprise is and why he met the criteria for the enterprise. The Combs enterprise consisted of an ongoing organization whose members functioned as a continuing unit for a common purpose of achieving the objectives of the Combs enterprise. The enterprise was engaged in its activities affected interstate and foreign commerce. The Combs enterprise operated in the Southern District of New York and elsewhere. At all times relevant to this indictment, the defendant was the leader of the enterprise. The individuals included certain Combs business employees, such as members of Combs security staff, household staff. Okay, yeah. The purpose of the enterprise, entertainment, lifestyle. We know what the purpose. We know what television, media. We know. Enriching members and associates of the enterprise, including its leader, Combs, and in particular, those who demonstrated loyalty to Combs and willingness to conceal his crimes. Preserving, protecting, promoting, and enhancing the power of the enterprise, including the power of the leader, through violence, use of firearms, threats, violence, coercion, and verbal, emotional, physical, and sexual abuse. Fulfilling the desires of Combs, particularly those related to Combs' his sexual gratification, including through the exploitation of the women and the use of commercial workers. Enabling Combs and other members and associates of the enterprise to engage in lawful acts of violence, including sexual violence, sex trafficking, forced labor, interstate transportation, for the purposes of prostitution, coercion, and enticement. Securing absolute loyalty for members of the enterprise, protecting the enterprise and its members, including Combs, from detection and prosecution by law enforcement authorities through acts of intimidation, manipulation, bribery, and threats of retaliation against individuals who witnessed the crimes committed by members and associates of the enterprise. Means and methods. The defendant and other members and associates of the enterprise conducted and participated in the conduct of the affairs of the enterprise, including, child, they keep saying the same thing. We know, threaten, intimidate, lure victims into his orbit, often under the pretense of a romantic relationship. He then used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims, including but not limited to 3 female victims. So we know we have victim 1, victim 2, victim 3. We're pretty certain that victim 1 is Cassie. Okay, we got a victim 2 and a victim 3 that are all women. To engage in commercial acts. In connection with the commercial acts, Combs provided the victims with, among other things, monetary payments, career opportunities, and payment of rent and housing expenses. Some of the acts involved male commercial workers and were referred to by Combs as, among other things, freak-offs. And then they give us the definition of a freak-off. I think we got it. Combs and associates of the Combs enterprise, including high-ranking supervisor, facilitated the F-offs by, among other things, booking hotel rooms, stocking hotel rooms in advance with supplies, including controlled substances, baby oil, lubricant, extra linen, lighting, cleaning, and the cleaning of the hotel rooms afterwards to mitigate the room damage, arranging for the travel of for victims, commercial workers, and Combs to and from, resupplying with requested supplies, delivering large sums of cash to Combs to pay the workers, scheduling delivery of IV fluids. And then they talk about they found a lot of this stuff in his house when they searched it last March. Other commercial acts involved only Combs and a female victim. As with F-offs, members and associates of the Combs enterprise assisted with arrangements for these commercial acts. Combs distributed a variety of controlled substances to keep the victims in part obedient and compliant. Combs subjected victims to physical, emotional, verbal abuse, maintained control during separate F-offs and with other commercial workers, among other things. Beat them. The assault often resulted in injuries that took days or weeks to heal. Combs also threatened the careers, livelihoods. Members and associates of the enterprise carried firearms, brandished to intimidate. And of course, they talk about all the firearms they found at his homes that they searched. They witnessed Combs being violent towards the victims, causing injury. Combs monitored and prevented victims from leaving locations such as hotel rooms or his residence. These occasions included instances in which a victim was required to remain in hiding, sometimes for several days at a time, to recover from injuries. We know that's Cassie, child. That was in her lawsuit. He also maintained control over certain employees of the enterprise, whom he forced to work long hours with little sleep through the use of, among other things, physical force, physical harm, financial harm, reputational harm, and threats of the same. Employees believed they would be harmed, including losing their jobs if they did not comply to his demands. With respect to one employee, Combs used physical force, physical harm, financial harm, and reputational harm, and or threats of the same to cause that employee to engage in acts with him. When employees witnessed his abuse or others, Combs threatened the same. Violent acts included arson, multiple acts of kidnapping, including one instance of kidnapping in which Combs carried or displayed a firearm. In addition, on multiple occasions, Combs threw both objects at people as well as hit, dragged, choked, and shoved others. And then, of course, on one occasion, Combs dangled a victim over an apartment balcony. We talked about that. When Combs' authority or reputation was threatened by the possibility of negative publicity or legal or law enforcement action against him, Combs and associates of the enterprise pressured witnesses and victims through attempted bribery to stay silent and to not report what they experienced or knew to law enforcement. On phone calls, Combs and other members and associates of the enterprise, among other things, provided these victims and witnesses with a false narrative of events in an effort to conceal Combs' crimes. Combs caused those calls to be recorded on at least 2 occasions. And we know that goes back to the people from Dirty Money. Y'all remember that? Hold on, let me pause. Let me come to the chat for a second. Let me pause and come over here to the chat. Yeah, I think that's Don Richards. Ciao. Well, I think a lot of these come from lawsuits we've already read, and some of these victims, I think we can guess at some of these people. We know a lot of people did testify before the grand jury, so some of this stuff we can sort of guess at. I feel like, and I mean, we don't have to be right. I mean, we don't know. You could tell that this is a different font, so I feel like they just cut and pasted some stuff together here. So let's read through this, you guys. Okay. The racketeering conspiracy. Multiple acts including kidnapping, chargeable under the following law. So kidnapping, multiple acts involving arson, multiple acts involving bribery, multiple acts indictable under Title 18, multiple, and then they just say multiple acts dealing with relating to forced labor, sex trafficking, the transportation and inducement of travel for the purposes of prostitution and other illegal sexual activities, multiple offenses involving the possession with intent to distribute or distribution of narcotics and controlled substances, including cocaine, oxycodone, is that a razapram? And I'm guessing that's methamphetamine, child. They got the legal names here, child. I don't know all these different names. Count 2. We're going to scroll through this because I feel like all of this is the same language. We're going to scroll to the bottom. Hold on. Count 2. Okay. Any combination would be used to cause a person to engage in a commercial sex act and attempted, aided, and abetted, and willfully caused the same. Combs recruited, enticed, harbored, transported, and maintained victim 1. Attempted, aided, and abetted, and willfully caused victim 1 to engage in commercial sex acts, knowing and in reckless disregard of that fact, victim 1 was engaged in commercial acts as a result of force, fraud, and coercion. Count 3. Knowingly transported individuals in interstate and foreign commerce with intent that the individuals engage in prostitution and attempted, aided, and abetted, and willfully caused the same, to wit, caused, transported, aided, and abetted, and willfully caused the transportation of female victims, including but not limited to victim 1, victim 2, and victim 3, and commercial workers in interstate and foreign commerce. Forfeiture allegations. Excuse me, y'all. The defendant shall forfeit to the United States pursuant to Title 18 any and all interests and defendant acquired or maintained in violation of Title 18. So they coming for their money. All interests in securities or claims against property, contractual rights of any kind, affording a source of influence over the enterprise named and described herein, which the defendant established, operated, controlled, conducted, and participated in the conduct of in violation of Title 18. The defendant shall forfeit to the United States any and all property, real and personal, involved in and used or intended to be used to commit or to facilitate the commission of said offense, and any and all property traceable to such property indirectly as a result of said offense. Child, they coming for all Diddy money. They want all of it. They want it all. They want it all. They want any proceeds obtained directly or indirectly as a result of these offenses, property, real or personal, that was used or intended to be used to commit or facilitate the commission of said offense. Sure. Substitute asset provision. Child, they're coming at the Diddy money. Okay, so that is what was filed today. But let's get some clarification, because I know what a lot of y'all are saying. This sounds like the same stuff that we done already talked about a million times. Well, it sort of is. Remember the last time there was this like superseding indictment? Well, remember we came back later and was like, well, they really didn't add any new charges. They sort of just kind of clarified what they had already charged with. So let's read through this letter. because that's kind of what happened, you guys. So this letter was filed along with that paperwork I just read. As you can see, it's dated March the 6th. It's to the judge, and it says, Dear Judge S. Child, we're just going to call that man S. The government respectfully submits this letter regarding the S2 indictment returned today in the above referenced case by a grand jury sitting in the district. I need y'all to understand, and I ain't no lawyer, so I can't say what does or what doesn't happen. But the fact that the grand jury is still sending indictments is interesting to me. Now, it might not mean nothing, and y'all know I didn't go to nobody's law school, but I do find it interesting that the grand jury is still sitting, which means that they still going over information. Maybe people are still, witnesses are still showing up, evidence is still showing up. I mean, I don't know. The S2 indictment contains no new charged offenses, but includes additional allegations related to the racketeering conspiracy charge in count 1. Specifically, the S2 indictment contains additional allegations as to the means and methods of the racketeering enterprise related to forced labor. The government expects to provide defense counsel with a supplemental enterprise letter related to these allegations by March the 10th of 2025. The government has already produced Rule 16, discoverable association with the S2 indictment, and does not expect the S2 indictment to affect existing pretrial deadlines. The government respectfully requests that the defendant be arraigned on the S2 indictment at the conference scheduled for March the 14th. So basically, they're like, look, we didn't add a bunch of new charges. We're just adding some new allegations, and this shouldn't change anything. This shouldn't change. Thank you, Holly Young. Thank you for the super chat, my love. This doesn't change the schedule. We don't have to push nothing back. You know what I mean? We don't have to go back to the drawing board. We can move forward as scheduled. But I do find it interesting that the grand jury is still sending indictments down to the prosecution, well, to the government. And again, that doesn't mean that anything is going to happen that ain't already happened. I just find it interesting that we're 2 months out from trial and they still sending indictments. I will say this, though, you guys. The superseding charges or additional charges that I thought we were going to get, we have not gotten yet. That doesn't mean we won't get them. We just have not gotten them yet. And I was waiting for the financial charges because ain't nobody gonna tell me that Diddy's books ain't funny. Ain't nobody gonna tell me that Diddy's books ain't funny. And remember when they hired all those new financial people? Baby, where's the money? Those are the charges I'm waiting for. As far as the trafficking and all of that, child, we got it. But I need some new information as it relates to this money. No, you know what? Without giving away, I can't really give away who my eye in the sky is, but my eye in the sky, because of what they do, I'm gonna just say this. And I hope I'm not saying too much. Eye in the sky, if I say too much, I'm gonna apologize. I know you'll tell me if I say too much. I'm gonna just say this and leave it there. My eye in the sky has been very busy since November. And y'all can read into that, which I want to read into that. But my eye in the sky has been very busy since November. So we've talked here and there, but they've been really busy. And then they also had a death in the family. That was something they were processing through. So I've talked to them, but there's really not a lot to add at this point, if I'm being honest. But if they give me something new, you know I'll send it to y'all. There's just really not a lot new to add, you know. I want to see the witness list. When that witness list comes out of all the people that's going to testify at Diddy's trial, that's what I want to know. Who talked to the grand jury? And who gonna testify in open court? And what they gonna say? Like, we know Cassie gonna testify. But like, is Farnsworth gonna be there? Is Mary J. Blige gonna say something? What about Faith? Like, I'm just wondering who these other people are that's gonna testify to all of these allegations about him, about him kidnapping and withholding people. Like, who testified about all these different things that they're alleging? You see what I'm saying? That's what I want to know. Stevie J, Ursha, look at y'all dropping names in the chat. Yeah, I mean, I honestly just wondered, Stevie J been real quiet. Somebody said he did an interview with Vlad TV, but Stevie J been quiet for about a year. I mean, that's a long time for Stevie J. Probably a bunch of hotel workers. All right, y'all, let me make a quick announcement before I get off of here. So I wanted to bring you guys that. So is it new charges? Yes, but it's not earth-shattering. It ain't really, gonna change anything, But let me say this. So last night I did a members only live. So my members got this information first. 2 quick announcements. First of all, baby, when I say y'all the tribe don't play, the tribe don't play. So literally yesterday I made an announcement. I do have a date for Books and Bourbon. If you asked me to add you to the Books and Bourbon group, and for whatever reason, I didn't, please reach out to me again so I can add you to the group. The date for Books and Bourbon is October the 11th of 2025. It is October the 11th of the weekend of October 11th, 2025. For those who do not know what Books and Bourbon is, Books and Bourbon is a trip that I'm going to be taking that I have invited my tribe to come along with me. We're going to go to the Louisville Book Festival on October the 11th, but we're going to spend the weekend in Louisville, and we're going to go to a couple of distilleries. We're going to break bread together. We're going to go to the book festival and support a really, really good friend of mine. She has curated this event, and she is also an author herself. There are a lot of authors there from all ages, all genres, all, backgrounds and all of those things. It is an all-inclusive event. So that is what we're going to do. I did not get in touch with the hotel today, but we played phone tag. They called me, I called them, we played phone tag. So I will do my best to call them again tomorrow so I can lock in. I'm gonna try to hold a block of rooms. But what I found out, the hotel that I want to go to is the hold on. I can tell y'all the hotel I want to go to. The hotel that I would like to stay at, which is where I stayed last year. It has great reviews, yada, 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 all of the above. But the name of the hotel is the Cambria Hotel. It's in downtown Louisville, Whiskey Row. What I found out today for all of my educators is that they do educator discounts. So if you call in and book a room and you tell them you're a teacher, and you may have to show your ID when you check in to verify. So I ain't telling everybody to just, say you a teacher. But if you work in education, they do have an educator's discount. They probably have AARP or AAA or whatever. So ask about that. But I'm going to try to block off a group of rooms and get a group rate. And that's what I'm working on right now. I'm also working on getting in touch with the distilleries to get some prices and all of that. And there will be a swag bag. So I'll get you guys those prices as soon as I put everything together into a package. However, you don't have to do it. You know what I mean? You don't have to buy the package. You can just meet us there and hang out with us and all of those things. So that's what we're doing. So if you would like to be added to the Books and Bourbon Instagram group, for those of you that are not on Instagram, I understand. But if you're on Instagram, just send it to me. And if you send it to me before, my apologies, send it to me again. Because that's where the people in the Instagram group will get the information first. Only because as I'm getting it, I can just put it in the group. You know what I'm saying? The second announcement, and when I tell you, I already had one person reach out to me today and was like, I done already booked my flight. Just let me know when you get the hotel together. I said, damn, not even mad about it. Second of all, we have locked in the cruise. Thank you, Chuck. And can you try to see if you can find like a Black-owned restaurant that maybe we can, I want to go to dinner Saturday after we leave the book festival. So can you look into helping me find a good, not real expensive, but a good quality Black owned restaurant that we can maybe have dinner at on Saturday night? If not, we could just find a nice restaurant on Whiskey Road where we can walk to. It's not a big deal. But I would love to support a Black owned business while we're there, and do dinner. Okay. The hotel is $379. Oh yeah, we might have to find something else. That's ridiculous. I paid that the teacher discount rate is a lot cheaper than that. It's like one something. But again, if we can get a group rate, it will be cheaper than that if we can get a group rate. So hold on, y'all. Let me try to oh, that's the total cost for 2 nights. That's for 1 night, or that's for 2 nights? $379 is for 2 nights, Cajun? Okay, thank you, Chuck. Yeah, we'll talk, Chuck. Like I said, I got your number. We could talk offline. Cajun, is that I'm waiting for Cajun. Okay, that's for 2 nights. Oh, okay. No, $379 for 2 nights isn't bad, boy. I thought you were saying it was $379 a night. I was like, hold up. Okay, for 2 nights, okay, that's not so bad. And again, if you're sharing a room with somebody, you splitting that in half, that's even better. So once I get everything together, y'all, let's not get caught up in all of that until I can see what rate I can lock in. Neither here nor there, but thank you, Cajun Boo. Thank you. The second one is I did book the cruise. And can I tell y'all that somebody already hit me up today? They done already called over to the Royal Caribbean and already booked their room. Can I tell you that y'all are not playing about these trips? I said, how you gonna book your room before I done book my room? I said, how you gonna book your room before I done book my room? But we're gonna have a formal live this weekend. At some point this weekend, myself and Miss Cruz are gonna have I don't know. She may not come up here because she may or may not come up on the live, but she'll be here. Even if she ain't on the live, she'll be in the chat where we'll go over the prices. I don't have them in front of me, so I don't want to start yelling out prices. However, you can do what Cheryl did. And you can I can give you the group name, and I can give you the group ID number and the 1-800 number to call if you're ready to book. We have a certain number of rooms set aside, and if you don't want to stay where those rooms are, you can, again, we'll get into more detail and answer whatever questions you guys have. But I just want to let you guys know those 2 things are locked and loaded. And I will give you at some point this weekend, we'll go over. I'm going to try to do it tomorrow, but I can't promise tomorrow, y'all, but it'll be done before the weekend is over. We're going to put a flyer together so we can go over all the information, and that price is locked in for 30 days. That does not mean that at the end of 30 days, you can't still go on the cruise. If your money ain't right now, you can still book it. I just can't lock that price in past 30 days. So if the cruise goes up, let's say you want to book your cruise in June and the price goes up, I just can't lock in that price. But again, but the price is good for 30 days. And you only have to put the deposit down right now. You don't have to pay the whole amount. You can just put the deposit down. All right. With that being said, let me get off of here, you guys. I will see you guys tomorrow, if the Lord willing. And I will have more information for everything tomorrow for you guys. Okay? All right. Good night.